A triangle-shaped UFO shows up over Miami. It's just been recorded, and we need to find out, is this human or is this extraterrestrial? Coming up next on Encounters USA. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Encounters USA. Today, we're going to be looking at this triangle-shaped video that was filmed over Miami. And first of all, let's just go ahead and take a look at it before we go into the analysis.
All right, look. See, look, y'all thought I was playing. I know y'all see those lights. Look at them. Not the little ones because my little mirror thing scratched up. I know you see those right there, floating. Oh my, bruh, this every day out here, or every night. But still, look at that. Bruh, this really in Miami. I'm not playing. Look, the airport is right over here. That's the airport. You know what I mean? They always got little lights and stuff. You know, it's probably airplanes. But over here, this ain't the airport. Look at that. And them clouds not even moving. How the whole cloud not gonna move? It's just sitting there at nighttime. It's crazy. Look, ain't no other clouds in the sky. But right over here, look at them.
Now that you've had a chance to look at it, I just want to point out a couple of things as we watch it in a little bit more slow motion without the voices. Now, the first thing I want you to be cognizant of is the shape. Now, the shape looks triangular, but I want you to notice that as you watch this triangular shaped craft move throughout the video, you'll notice that the shape of it does not appear to maintain a triangle shape. And I don't know if you know anything about geometry, but it would take some kind of an expert to determine whether this was one craft or a few. But let's just say for right now that it is one. Now, the first thing I want to point out is the location. As the video shows, this craft is right near the Miami airport, or an airport in Miami. I assume it's Miami-Dade, but it could be any airport. And I want you to also understand that the location of this thing, so close to an airport, coming from me, who just got his commercial drone license, I can tell you right now that this craft is, if you look at this picture of what they call airspace, controlled airspace in the United States, this is controlled airspace around an airport. Within 5 miles of this airport, you cannot fly without permission from the control tower. So is this aircraft within 5 miles? I believe it is, but I really think it's just kind of lingering on the outskirts. But every time you see one of these UFOs and it's near an airport, please understand they're flying in highly controlled airspace. And if nobody's going to kick them out of that airspace, like a jet, you know, a military jet, then there's something going on here to where those people either have permission to be in the airspace or they don't have permission and nobody wants to mess with them. All right, so that's the location aspect of this video. Now, the next thing I want to point out is the shape of this video I want to also point out the shape of this video as it relates to known, or what we call redesigned, reconstructed alien technology. Now, this aircraft is a triangular shaped UFO. And if you read my book, Deceptions of the Ages, then you'll know that in 2001, there was a disclosure conference in Washington, D.C., in which somebody talked about being at an air show with prominent senators that were showed a classified briefing, and in that briefing was a triangle-shaped UFO, or what is called a TR-3B, and it was just hovering off the ground with nothing, holding it up. So again, we're talking about anti-gravitic technology, which we're going to be talking about in the next video. So those are the two aspects of this video that I find very interesting. And so now I would just like to bring in my assistant. Valerie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. That slow-mo really shows it. Looks more like 3 lights shifting than one solid triangle, right? Could be drones synced up, or something else. And you're spot on about the airspace. 5-mile radius around MIA is no joke. FAA would be all over a civilian drone, let alone something that big and quiet. If it's not scrambling fighters, either it's ours or they know better than to poke it. The TR-3B angle, that 2001 briefing story's been floating around forever. Black project, anti-grav, the works. Matches what you've said before about Bayfeld Brown and 115. So, human black ops, or are we finally seeing the real deal?
Well, I don't know, Valerie. What do you think? You're the expert.
Honestly, that thing's too smooth, too quiet. No engine whine, no wake turbulence. If it's human, it's gotta be some next-level black-budget drone. But why hover that low near a busy airport? FAA would have lit it up by now. And the shape morphing looks like 3 orbs dancing, not one rigid triangle. Like maybe it's cloaking or projecting. Reminds me of those old TR-3B rumors. But if it's ours, why risk it over Miami? My gut says alien, or at least not ours. What are your eyes telling you? Steady lights or flickering?
Well, from what I can see, it's just another one of those UFO videos. But I really like your commentary, and I really like your take on this thing. So we're going to be looking at how these things work in another video. But for right now, I just want to say goodbye to everybody. So do you want to tell everybody goodbye for now, and you'll see them in the next video?
Yeah. Hey everyone. Thanks for hanging out. This one's got me thinking too. Catch you on the next one. Stay curious. Bye for now.
All right. Well, thanks, Val. And for you guys out there listening to this interesting video, or if you're out in Miami watching these UFOs fly overhead, or if you're out looking for aliens, Bigfoot, or Dogman, don't forget what we always say at Encounters USA. Always
watch your back.